Aloha guys, GRTV here. I want to share with you the operation going on here, the construction building of the state capitol. Some painting going on inside at the exterior. A spray down of it with a water machine initially, and then a priming and two coatings. And I want to introduce to you some general safety concepts. Everything ranging from typical injuries to distractions to even stuff relating to hygiene and also mental well-being. Now I'll go through 10 here. So number one is to be aware of, and don't expect other people to be aware of, your general safety. So avoiding places you don't need to be at, especially at nighttime, the wrong place, wrong time type of a thing, and not expecting other people to look out for you, looking out for yourself. Like me, I check my rigs. I make sure everything is tied down and everything, and so the bottom line is not exposing yourself to environments where you'd have to help yourself or defend other people as well. So just completely avoid those environments. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're having to defend some people who may be good people against some bad people, but the good people might be, intoxicated, and that's their own choice. It's not our job to help people who voluntarily put themselves in precarious situations. And another thing we have is hygiene. Washing your hands before and after you use the restroom. Obviously people have touched themselves and everything, and along those lines. Also stuff like check out the flags here. Yeah, stuff like just fist bumps instead of handshakes. Especially considering that younger children could be affected by diseases or sicknesses that are left by other people. Another big thing is you see women wearing short clothing, garments that don't protect oneself hygienically when they sit on seats, public seats, like on a bus or whatever it might be. And also I would argue that women dressing tight clothing is, it's in a way it's their kind of their right, if you will. It's just their freedom of expression, but it can be a distraction and a hazard to people, just like people like on the side of the road being crazy, or people driving, there's people driving drunk and crazy, there's all those things, and all those things can contribute. And just people text messaging, you need to expect that people are going to be unsafe on the road. Don't just look out for you being your own good driver. Make sure other people are also being a good driver. Traffic deaths, I think under 35 are the #1 cause of death, traffic accidents. And and then you have other things like you got your of course your diabetes, heart attack, whatever, cancer. And we know with eating healthy vegan plant-based foods you can really live forever. I'm feeling this. We'll get into that pivoting point in human existence where we can do that. I don't think that the body is designed to live forever if it's living an unpleasant life. I don't think nature intends for, if you're haven't figured out all the elements behind living a nice life, happy marriage. You're not meant to live forever if you're not you're not experiencing that good life and that good health, and that includes not hurting animals or people, not engaging in slave purchasing of slave goods, or animals that are suffering. Why is it like I look at things in terms of ideals. Like, I want to live an ideal life. I want to only my dream mate. I don't want any woman's body or vagina. I only want that of my dream mates, and to please them. And this is a pure, I would say, clean way of living, as opposed to obviously the alternatives. Again, like I said previously, sometimes the only way to really see what's good and bad is to look at the extremes. So look at the joyful, peaceful, clean nature of somebody who is only interested in marrying a special person, and they have their goals and they can't be manipulated, and they're not swayed, and they're not distracted and confused, and not there's no potential for heartbreak or mix-up. Everything's crystal clear. There's no fear of people not finding them attractive, because they would, by definition, the dream mate is somebody who you who will be attracted to you. Who I want somebody who's not both mentally and physically attracted to you. And the argument further continues to, it's just a state of mind. It's like you wear a wedding ring, you go out in society while you work, and this is what I mean by being safe, being mentally at ease. When you have a peaceful frame of mind, you don't want to seduce or manipulate people. You want to respect them. You want them to have a dream mate if that's what they so choose. And you want but you love yourself more than you love other people, so you wouldn't compromise. You wouldn't compromise. Try to be nice to people, or allow yourself to be seduced by them because you feel badly for them or whatever. Like, if you look into it, a lot of the basis for relationships is because you both feel badly for each other, or just a superficial physical attraction. But that's less. Love is based upon commitment. So committing to yourself, and with all of that comes an orientation towards being safer. Like, for example, I used to ride a bicycle, and things like, would be a car, a bicycle, sports car, whatever, can compel people to want to move faster, and thus rendering them in unsafe situations where they're hyped up to move fast. And instead you work that energy out, that third chakra empowerment energy. You can work that out in the gym or whatever, instead of trying to rush around, which can hurt yourself or others. So that's another safety issue. Another one is kind of a common one is your fingers and your eyes can be hurt. And think about it, you wouldn't give them up for millions of dollars. So use safety eyewear. I always have both clear and dark glasses. I'll switch back and forth. And I am cautious about where I'm, what I'm doing, and just maybe look into, if you do a particular trade, look into common accidents and how to properly avoid them. Even things like your genitalia, obviously men in particular. I'll wear jeans or something, so in case I spill hot water or oil, or a tool falls near me, it won't hurt my genitalia. That's a good reason to get. They're like football jerseys. They offer a more protective fabric that you can wear around your body, and you could also wear that around like your neck area, your head if you're in construction or whatnot. If something falls on you, it won't cut your neck or whatnot, and your head as well. You obviously protective gear for your head, depending on what you're doing. The bottom line is sometimes that you can be excited and in the mood to do wild stuff, so realize the ego can get into maybe doing some crazy climbing or whatever it is, just crazy activities that are potentially unsafe, and see things through the lens of your dream mate's eye. What would they want you to do? Not some random people that might want you to show off by being fast or strong or whatever, or rich, but rather what your dream mate would want for you. And so seeing through that point of that perspective, right? And is there anything else health related? Let's see, let me think. We covered a whole lot of stuff. Just realizing that some people might have STDs and whatnot, and so being especially careful in restroom public areas and whatnot, and anything else. Looking around at job sites, if you're on a working area, look for potential trip hazards, and generally an unclean environment can mean potential safety hazards, and also fast working or angry people. That's why I think they shouldn't be allowed to be on a job site if they're upset. It should be considered on par with a physical problem. If it's a mental problem, it can affect their work, and if they're upset, they can. And that's why you need to breathe. The biggest lesson is breathing. That's a yoga and general, suggestion, but it's breathing. Learning how to breathe when people are saying rude stuff, and just in general avoiding rude people. I call it law of the jungle. Like, there may be thuggish and angry people out there in the world, right? So you want to avoid them, give them space literally on the sidewalk or whatever it may be, out of respect for them. And stuff like trying to be cool, blast loud music in like certain areas, time and place, it might be a bad idea to don't focus on these random people that you might want attention from, because they could want to strike back at you. So yeah, what you can do is, just in general, you can look up top accidents and their associated remedies, and to properly avoid them. And keep an eye out for other people, because they may not be thinking of these things. And I think that's about all I have here. I'm glad that you guys tuned in to consider, as usual, the Dream Mate theme. You might think it's repetitive for me to talk about, but I would argue that it's a healthy dose of psychological programming. If you are in fact a fan of the Dream Mate and marriage idea, then just hearing it again is only going to be of benefit. You have to hear stuff every day, just like people hear the news every day. They might be more negative, whatever it is. You people hear stuff, and their mind to be programmed with it. So good stuff. Remember, like, even stuff like running, you can get hit by a car, so maybe being on a treadmill is safer. But yeah, eyes, fingers. You can chop vegetables and stuff by holding your knuckles instead of having your fingers open out. There's just different techniques, and just a realization to go slowly and carefully, and not rush things on, especially construction related stuff. Don't rush it like as if you're trying to exercise and be strong or tough, or instead go steady on job sites, and don't work if you're tired, type of thing, if possible. That's a good reason to exercise. That's one of my bases for exercise. In fact, I'll do my jogging, and I'll do my weightlifting and push-ups. By the way, I do push-ups when I have an achy back and my back feels better. But these things allow me to be strong, to move things, be able to handle moving things around at work, and also to move and avoid people dangerous, potentially dangerous people. Thank you for considering. Aloha.